Eagle.
Bald
Bald eagle. I heard hawk. Now, if you said eagle, you're not incorrect. There's not many birds around here of that size, so he is a flavor of eagle. But Triton specifically is a juvenile bald eagle. He just doesn't look like it because he's only 3 years old. And bald eagles, they don't get that iconic white head, white tail until they're about 5 years of age. So he is still on his little bald eagle coloring books. He's still on his little baby bald eagle multiplication table until he gets that white head and tail. But what is the purpose of that color change? I'll tell you. That white head and tail, it shows all the other bald eagles that Triton, he has lived through those first 5 years where he is most likely to starve because he is still working out his fishing ability. That's right. This bird is primarily a fishing eagle. These are North America's fishing eagles. And so, it takes about 5 or so years for them to really cinch in that fishing ability. Kind of like riding a bicycle. But once you've got it down, you pretty much got it set for life. And so, it is a nice litmus test for all the other bald eagles. They can look over at Triton, who I think is walking like a dinosaur back there. Hi, big boy. You're doing a little pirate walk? Hi, yeah, that's you. It shows all the other bald eagles that he's probably a good guy to settle down and have some babies with because he has lived those first 5 years and he's probably a decent hunter by that point, right? Now, we have about a quarter of all of British Columbia's we have about a quarter of all of the world's bald eagles right here in British Columbia. Has a lot to do with how much salmon, how much water there is here on the coast. Yeah, so that is a lot of these fellas hanging out here. Especially during the salmon run in October, if you guys go up towards Squamish, you will see the trees are absolutely covered with these guys. The trees are drooping because of how many bald eagles are loaded on those branches. The white feathers, they also help to break up a bald eagle's silhouette, so that the fish doesn't immediately clock him as being the shape of a big, hungry eagle. Kind of like camouflage, helps to break up that outline, that silhouette, by having the white against the dark feathers. And in fact, that is the case for every type of fishing eagle in the world. There's always some patch of white on these guys. Now, of course, if you've ever tried to grab a live fish with your hands, you know that it's not an easy time. Those things, they don't want to be eaten, and they're wriggling a lot, and they're very slippery. So, to get around that, he has very textured insides of his feet, like sandpaper. And when he comes back out this time, if you take a look at his nice little trousers, you'll notice that they don't have pockets, but they also don't go all the way down to his feet. Because if he were to get those pants waterlogged as he goes in for a dive, then it's just going to weigh him down. And that's not really useful for him. So on something like a golden eagle, those little pants would go all the way down to the ankles, but he's got his nice little cutoffs today. Yeah, I'm going to bring Triton to the front. I'd say 2 more times. That's a good number. But I want you guys to help me guess, how much do you think he weighs? You guys can call it out. I know you've all got a number.
50 pounds.
I heard 50 pounds? 15?
35.
20?
35.
25? What about you guys? Go on, what about it?
35.
35?
10 pounds.
10 pounds? Oh boy.
No.
Proper bidding war. Hi, buddy. The answer will shock you. If you pass out forward, not backwards. You don't fall off the bleachers. Now, Triton here, he only weighs 6 to 8 pounds, believe it or not. Yeah, closer to 8 on a fat day. These guys, they don't weigh a lot. Because he needs to be nice and light to do exactly this, to fly. So they are deceivingly large. He is mostly a big ball of feathers. But he also has other little tricks up his sleeve. For example, for the equivalent sized mammal, he only has about half of the blood volume. So not a whole lot of liquid sloshing around in there. And birds, they're taking quite frequent poops, which is quite funny. You might have experienced this the hard way at the beach, but objectively, does help to lighten the load. And his bones, they're not quite hollow, more like honeycomb interior, kind of like an Aero bar, which is my least favorite chocolate. I don't know who's putting bubbles in all these chocolates, but that's what the inside of his bones look like. Well, let's give Triton a round of applause here as he makes his way on. Trying to do our best eagle calls. Now, we always make a point to make sure that all the birds are popped away before the next bird comes out, because it very quickly becomes a family.